Hello everyone once again, this is Rob and welcome back to Media Awareness and another album review. Before I continue, however, a quick reminder the fundraiser continues. For those of you unaware, I am a disabled individual and I use a motorized wheelchair slash scooter all day every day for my independence and I need your help. My insurance will not cover anything with regard to my scooter as it's seen as a quote luxury item end quote, despite the fact that I am unable to use a regular wheelchair or any other type of scooter for that matter due to my dexterity issues. So I am limited to what I have and I have to keep this scooter running as faithfully and as long as possible. And my independence is solely reliant on my ability to get out and about throughout my home and beyond with my scooters. So I really need your help with this. And there is a spot fund account linked below. You can find it linked in two separate places right below the title in the description. And also you can find it in a separate section below the actual description for this album review itself. And it's easy to contribute, and I'm asking for $10 minimum. If you could do more, that'd be great, and it would really go far. It does add up over time, and it would really help out. So if you could all pitch in, it'd be great, and I would appreciate it. I do want to extend a gracious thanks to those who have contributed thus far. Your contributions have made an incredible difference in my life, and really, I can't thank you enough. And the same goes for those who plan on contributing. You guys mean the world to me. I love you all. Thank you so much. So we have a cat on my couch under the cover, as you can tell. But we also have a new DOKKEN album out. And a few days ago, I attempted to do a reaction to this new DOKKEN single called Over the Mountain, which I link below so that way you could actually experience the video itself. I did a reaction, I uploaded it, and it would not post. It didn't say it was blocked, so I don't know what the problem was, but I was really impressed with that single, and I was unaware that we were getting a new DOKKEN album and getting it like today. So I looked up the release date, found out that it was today, the 27th of October, 2023, and the album is called Heaven Comes Down. It is brand new, and I've listened to it 3 times today on Spotify, as I do not have a physical copy to review, so I can't really judge the packaging for you guys. The artwork does look pretty incredible, though. I'll put a picture in here of what the picture looks like on Amazon. And it's impressive. Now, the album itself, I've always been, let me preface this by saying, I've always been a DOKKEN fan. I know a lot of people tend to give DOKKEN a bad rap. Some people put DOKKEN in the category of hair metal or hair rock, whatever, hard rock. DOKKEN to me is a hard rock band, and they merely are one of those bands like Whitesnake, and I've said this before. They just happen to have the hair at the time that hair metal and these hair bands were big. DOKKEN, for me, though, really stood apart from hair bands like Rat and Cinderella, in that DOKKEN sang about things that were more tangible. They had more substance to them. I have virtually every DOKKEN CD that there is. So this one I will be adding to my collection as soon as possible, as it is one that I would like to have in my possession. Um, and I've been really critical as of late, as many of you may know who follow my channel, of recent productions, whether it be Metallica or Dolly Parton. I have been critical of the mix and the production, the engineering of the song, and also the writing in some cases. When it came to certain acts, I will not mention any names. So, with that being said, this, I mentioned this in my reaction that you are unfortunately unable to see, but I was so impressed with the production sound on this, on the song Over the Mountain. I was really, when I heard the way it was produced and just how it sounded, I thought, this is how a hard rock song should sound. This is how heavy metal should sound. Even though it really wasn't heavy metal. But you had this, really uh, kind of a crunch guitar, but it was a guitar that it didn't have this sterilized cleanliness like we've heard in so many other recent releases. And I've covered a few of those, and I have complained about a few of those because things have been too clean sounding, and the whole song just has this really raw feel that I feel hard rock and heavy metal should have. The drums sound great, better than any drums I've heard um, in recent memory for anything that of that genre, and even not even in that genre. They sound amazing. The bass guitar, it has that trebly sound, and we're not talking like Chris Squire trebly, not that trebly, but more so just enough so that way you can actually tell the bass apart from the percussion, and it stands out as its own individual portion, which is how I feel it should be. And there are ways to accomplish that in the mix, but nobody seems to be paying attention these days when they're mixing, and they just either mix things flat and don't adjust anything across the board, or they go with a basic stock sounds that the studio is set up for, because that studio happened to produce hit material. This is just so fresh. The bass sounds great, the guitar sounds great, the drums sound great, the solos are really impressive, and Don Dokken's voice sounds great. And I have to say, I said this in my other video, but unfortunately it was unable to be seen as well. So I'm reiterating. I feel like I'm reiterating myself, even though you guys haven't heard this before now. But Don's voice, he's doing what I would consider really intelligent at his point in life. As an older gentleman myself, in my early 50s, I know Don might be able to have a few years on me, but still, we have our limitations, and he is staying within his guidelines. He's not overreaching, vocally speaking. And I really appreciate that on this album. It's really a nice change of pace from a lot of the other bands, musicians that I will not name as well. This was just very tasteful, and I feel that his delivery is very tasteful. Backing vocals are also really good. They're layered nicely, and like I said, this is one of the best mixed and best sounding albums I've heard in a while, especially in the genre, but overall, it's really great sounding. So my apologies for the fact that my face got suddenly very brighter all of a sudden. I have pulled up a list of the songs that stood out to me on this new Dokken album, Heaven Comes Down, and I wanted to just ramble these off for you. These might be songs that you would want to check out as far as songs that may be of interest to you as well. So the album actually starts out with a song that I love, and it'll be one that I play a lot once I have my copy of the album, and that is a song called Fugitive, and it starts out with this jangly, almost really, uh, I can't even describe the way this guitar sounds, but it's a really kind of jangly, unnerving sound, yet it works magnificently in terms of the context of the song and the lyrics itself. And I really like that song a lot and the way it progresses throughout. We get the build up, and we get the actual heavy guitars kick in, and the verses and the chorus and solos are amazing on this whole album. So I'm not even gonna really say that for each individual song, but I am just going to say some of the best guitar solos on this album can be found. The second track on the album that stood out to me is Gypsy, and it actually is the second track on the album as well. It really, lyrically, this album is great, and that's one thing I could say about Dokken. Dokken's always been amazing with lyrics. Don Dokken and his band have always delivered meaningful songs, in my opinion, and they've always had a place in my heart, no matter what the song was about. So, yeah, we have, like I said, Fugitive it opens up with Gypsy. Next song that stood out for me is titled Is It Me or You? And this was like more of it hit me on a romantic level. And despite the fact that I'm currently single, it really is one of those songs I could relate to on a relationship level. One of those questions that you can often find yourself asking yourself, so to speak. After that, the next song that caught my attention was I'll Never Give Up. This song just really kind of blindsided me, and I was really impressed with the intensity of this particular tune emotionally. It just it hit me, and it really wow, yeah, it's kind of my motto, because as a disabled individual, I pride myself on my independence, and therefore I never give up. And there are times when the odds are stacked against you, but you just have to say, I'll never give up, and you keep on plugging away. And let's see here. Scroll down my list here is what the next song. The next song that caught my attention was actually the single from the album, the current single from the album, which is Over the Mountain. And like I said, I was so impressed the other day when I did my reaction and heard this song. I was just like, this is how a hard rock band should sound. This is how heavy metal should sound, for that matter. Yet it's really lacking lately. Things have either sounded too clean and too sterile, and that's really how a lot of things have sounded. Nothing has really sounded like it has a level of depth to it, or a level of I don't want to say how can I describe this? Nothing recently, aside from this, has had really a sound that stood out to me, and made me want to listen to the whole song, because things have sounded too polished, too clean, and I'm all for professionalism and playing your music, your instruments in a proper manner and playing them well. But that doesn't mean that it has to sound like it was recorded in a vacuum. And that's how a lot of recent releases have sounded. This sounds like an actual band that just set up in a room and recorded this album. And I'm amazed. I really love it so much. And the final track that really caught my attention was called I Remember. And that song really just hit me hard. I was sitting there listening to it each time thinking, wow, I can definitely relate to this song a lot. Now, when you listen to this album, you might have different songs that strike you and that get your attention. These are just the songs that connected with me personally, and they resonated with me, and I'm really fond of those particular tunes on this new album. So I would highly recommend this new Dokken album to Dokken fans around the world, and even people who have not heard Dokken in a long time, or people who have not given Dokken a chance or not even heard Dokken. I would recommend checking this album out first and just going with this and work your way backwards through Dokken's catalog, because this is an amazing album. Once again, the album is called Heaven Comes Down. It is now available everywhere music is sold, and as soon as I can, I will have a copy in my hands. And this album may even make the top 10 countdown for 2023. We'll have to wait till New Year's to find out. I have a lot of albums to go through and to really sort of chronicle and assign positions in terms of 1 to 10. And I know there's going to be albums that do not make the top 10 that came out this year that I will do an honorable mention for, but this album I really feel will be in the top 10 because it's that good. It sounds so great. Like I said, I love the production, I love the mix, I love the lyrics, I love the performances. There is nothing about this album that really makes it a bad album. This is a great album, and it's an album that you should all check out. So do yourself a favor and check out Dokken's Heaven Comes Down. Available now wherever music is sold, in whatever format you choose, by the way. This is Rob with Media Awareness, and I was pleased to have brought you this review of the new album from Dokken, Heaven Comes Down, released today, October 27th, 2023. Check it out. I will see you all again soon. Have a wonderful morning, noon, or night, wherever you are. Consider subscribing to my channel and liking and commenting. I'd love to know your thoughts on this new Dokken album. Put them below if you have any thoughts. Take care. Bye.